What's up, WDG fam? And let's talk about something for real quick. Because when people go through things, whether it's friends, whether it's family, we always say the same thing. Oh, don't worry, it'll get better. We're here for you. Yada yada yada. But people hear that all the time. So, like, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to help them? That's why we gotta look into the Word. We gotta see what God says about helping other people through their situation. That's what we're going to talk about today in Young Intelligent Hearts. Alright, so what's up again, guys? If you're new, hey, welcome. If you want to look at anything else in the series, Young Intelligent Hearts, we got playlists available, and for all the other classes too, because you know my family, we be having some nice stuff. Check them out too, please. Yeah. And we're going to get right into it, okay? We're going to deal with other people, you know, because it's different when you know it's yourself. It's not easy, but it's so much more straightforward, digging deep into the Word, trying to find things to help yourself, to help your situation, or finding a message that helps you. But what happens when other people come to you, when they tell you about their situations? How do you comfort them? How do you help them? What do you do? What are you supposed to do? That's what we're going to look. First point, don't judge them, comfort them. Let's look at the scripture first before we go deeper into this. This is Ephesians 4:29. I tried to dive in too quickly. I'm sorry. I'm kind of excited. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. So, we all make mistakes, We all do things. When people come to you, it may not always be, life hitting them. It could be a mistake. They could have made a mistake, and now they're in a situation. They're in a tight spot. The thing, when they come to us, and, yes, we're not supposed to obviously, act like they didn't do anything wrong, but we're not supposed to berate them. We're not supposed to bash them. We're not supposed to elevate their stress, make them feel worse than they might already feel. We're supposed to be there for them. We're supposed to be there to comfort them. Just being there and listening in and of itself is very important. And it's something that can help a lot of people. This is something that I also kind of struggle with, which is one of the things I wanted to talk about it, because I also wanted to learn more about it, because that's mainly the thing that I do. I listen. I'm pretty good at just listening and letting them air it out, but get better at actually communicating, at actually touching those people. And that's what we should all do, because we're all going to be tested at some point or another. We're all going to be that person who they come to, whether it's because we're a close friend, whether it's because we're a relative that they trust, or whether it's just because, maybe you might be a role model for some people, and they might not even say it, and they might come up to you and tell you all this stuff because they trust that you have something for them, that you could give them some good advice. You want to be able to pour into them. You don't want to be who they fear, somebody who would just judge them and bash them and berate them on all the stupid things that they might have done, all the things that they should have done, because that's the worst thing that you can easily do. That can lead somebody down a horrible path. That can mess with their mental, especially if they're already mentally damaged or mentally hurt or going through things. So you want to make sure that you're there to comfort them. Now next, we're going to talk about something very important. Second point, lift them up. Okay, let's go to 1 Thessalonians 5:11. This is very important. Therefore, encourage one another and build up one another, just as you are doing. Sounds straightforward. But that goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning, we always say the same things. We're just talking about lifting people up. We always say the same things. So what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to know what to say? The right things to say. But that's because instead of using your words, what comes out of your mouth, what you may think, you got to go to God's words and use what He has already told us and relay that to other people. For example, one scripture that's very good for people who might be going through it is Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." You can use that and be like, yes, I'm obviously, you still want to say, that you're there for that person, that you're going to support them, that you're praying for them, but you need to let them know that God is looking out for them, that God has already said that no matter what is going on right now, He has hope in your future. He doesn't see any evil in your future. He knows that you will make it. He says you will make it. So no matter how hard the road may be or how bad it may seem, it doesn't matter, because you know that God said it, that you can go through it. You just got to trust him. You just got to keep going. But they might not know that, which is why it's a test, because when they come up to you, you need to be that person to tell them that. You need to be that person to pour into them. And it may not be this scripture. It could be 1,000 other scriptures. It could be any situation. But there's always something for it when they come up to you, because God knows you have something for them and you can be that person. You want to be that person. You want to be the guy. You want to be the girl. You want to be the one that, people can rely on. Because that's one of our, what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to pour into other people. We're supposed to, go out and make disciples. So when people come to us, that's how we do it. Through scripture. Through the word. Now this last part, I've been saying all of these are important because they are. But I feel like this one is the most important. It's the third point. Go all the way. I don't know what I mean by that. Let's read Galatians 6:2. We'll dive into that. Because it says, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. Now again, you might still be saying, what does he mean by that? It means, don't be that person who's like, oh, don't worry, I got you. I'll be there for you. I'll pray for you. And then you never hit them back up again. You know what they're going through, and you don't hit them back up again. You don't check on them, see how they're doing. You don't make sure they're okay. You don't do anything like that. You forget to pray for them, and then they get out the situation. It's like, oh yeah, I prayed for you. I knew you would get out of there. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Stop it, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go all the way. Okay, when you say you're really going to look out for somebody, when you say you're going to be there for somebody, you better do it. Okay, you need to do it. And again, check up. I'm saying this a lot, but I want to make sure I get it across. Check up on people, because when people tell you something like that, and maybe you might think maybe it's that one day, but most likely it might have happened before, or it'll happen again. You want to make sure you check up on them, especially if it's been a while. Like, let's say it's been a week since you talked to them since that incident. You want to make sure they're good. You want to make sure things haven't escalated, or if they have, you can comfort them, that you can pour into them. You can do what you need to do, so that way they are well equipped to handle that situation, so that way you can do what you were supposed to do, which is to help be there for them, which is what you said you would do. That's also something. This isn't a point, but this is something you should do. Keep with your word. If you're going to say you're going to do something for somebody and they're really going through it, that's like the worst. I mean, you're not supposed to lie, but that's the worst time you could lie. Like, don't do that. Don't lie or make a promise you can't keep. Make sure that if you're in there, you are all the way in. You're like, I got you. I'm going to make sure I pray for you. Like, have things to make sure you remember. Make sure you're like, okay, I need to at least, like, if I don't remember to call them, I need to have something set up so it reminds me to call them. Or, if, depending on where they live, you can go over and check on them in person. I know it's kind of hard with COVID and everything, but these things are really important, okay? Like, this is why I really wanted to get this across. That's one of the reasons, like, I had the ideas for the series. This is the thing that made me want to do the series on, like, going through struggles in life and everything, because a lot of struggles, like, that I feel like we don't talk about enough is helping other people with their struggles, because, people need people to vent to. People need to talk to some people. And yes, they can always talk to God. And you should talk to God. But not everyone that you know, not everyone in your circle, not everyone that you hang out with or that, admires you, that cares about you, loves God. So who are they going to go to? Then they might not go to God. They might not go to their parents. They might go to you because they trust you. Because, they care about you, because they love you. So you need to make sure that you're there for them. Alright? Now, I know this is kind of short. All my things are kind of short. But I really wanted to hammer this home. I wanted to get straight to the point. Tell you jokers that you need to not judge people, but you got to comfort them. You got to lift them up. You got to go all the way when you're helping somebody, okay? Now, thank you so much for listening to this message. I know I kind of got into it. I don't usually do that, but that's what happened. So I hope you enjoyed it. So make sure you like and share this message with all your friends, with all your family, anyone you think who might need it. Make sure that if you have questions, you leave them down below, because we care about what you think. Or go to the website, WDG Ministries, leave your questions over there, and we will get back to you. Yeah, we care about you. We love you guys. I hope you know that. We care about you guys, alright? And also, subscribe. Click that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a video. There's just a lot of good stuff that comes over here. You know, a lot of things that can bless you, that can help you in any situation. Or, like we were talking about, send it to a friend who might be going through some things. Any of the messages that we have, you can support them and make sure you're there for them, like we were talking about. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.